Hey guys, this is Mitchell from GameFront, back again with more of our Talos Principle walkthrough, and these are exciting times that we're living in because we just got past the first world, I guess. Oh, so here we go. This is what we basically just went through, I guess. Seven areas, all connected to A. Let's see what happens when we go to 0.
You have proven yourself worthy, child, and this gate shall be forever open to you. Seek now the other worlds I have given you, that you may attain even greater mastery and bring glory to your kind. But remember, you must not ascend the great tower, for it shall bring death and the end of your generations.
But when you tell me not to do something, it just makes me want to do it all the more. I mean, you're a god, right? You know about humans and, well, I mean, I guess I'm not really technically human, or am I? That's kind of the point of this game, right? To question what is a human? Where is that beeping coming from? There it is. Alright, what we got? Another Athena text. The great bronze bulls pulled the carriage forward, mighty bursts of steam issuing from their nostrils. Finally, they came to the gates at the top of blah 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 blah. Here assembled were all the many generations of the gods and demigods and souls of mortals, steel and bronze and iron, in memory of flesh. The clouds parted far beneath, revealing the beautiful plains of Macedon, where great gleaming cities had once something. That was 12, the Council of Zeus. Professor Dr. Armin Hulak, The Fall of the Roman Empire, a dialectical approach. But, interesting as such perspectives of the decline and ultimate dissolution of the Roman Empire may be, they ultimately put too much emphasis on the individual catastrophic events. The real question that must be asked is why the Roman Empire, which had dealt with so many threats and catastrophes over the years, was so incapable of responding to these later problems. We must investigate the division of wealth, the structure of government, the location of power in Roman society. Had the Republic survived or been restored, would Rome still have fallen? What was the role of debt and slavery in creating the conditions for what we now call the Dark Ages? Rome, the saying goes, was not built in a day. It didn't fall in a day either. To register for the class, please email blah 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 blah. Whoa. Okay, so I imagine this is the tower, right? This was a building. I mean, not a building. It's obviously a building, but it is the A building. There is a QR code right here. I wish I could reach those islands in the distance, but it seems to be impossible. Just checking around. I wonder how far we can run.
In the beginning.
Yeah, the whole thing. In the beginning, blah 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 blah. Just doing some exploration. I guess we're gonna go inside B now. Beep boop bop 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 boop bop boop bop. Oxyrhynchus. The great irony of the Oxyrhynchus papyri is that such a vital source of information about the ancient world exists only because of a garbage dump. While the Library of Alexandria burned at the hands of fanatics and conquerors, depriving us of unimaginable insights into history, philosophy, and art, the papers carelessly thrown away by the citizens of Oxyrhynchus, God, I don't know, survived to the modern day. And though it is true that a great deal of what we know today is because of the conscious efforts of individual and organizations, such as the spectacular translation and preservation work done by the Islamic Golden Age, so much more is simply the result of coincidence and luck. We've lost texts that the ancients considered to be absolutely essential, while utterly trivial, even plagiarized work has survived unharmed. Blah 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 blah. So if we want our descendants to remember more than glittering emo vampires and auto-tuned teen pop stars, we have to invest in blah blah blah, make sure that blah 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 blah. Oh no! What do they want to say? The Book of Osiris. And it's a wiki page. The Book of the Scribe of Osiris, sometimes referred to as the Book of the Journey to Aru, is an ancient Egyptian text discovered in the excavation of Oxyrhynchus. Ugh. It has caused a certain degree of controversy among Egyptologists, as some argue that it is a classical funerary, I don't know that word, text such as the Book of Coming Forth by Day, while others believe it to be a poetic work not intended to be understood literally. The book tells the story of a dying man who asks a scribe about the afterlife. The scribe, a servant of Osiris, describes how the man's Ka, life force, will become separated from his Ba, personality, and how he will have to reunite the two to become an Ak, living intellect, passing a series of trials in the Duat, underworld, in order to reach the paradise of Aru. Unlike similar texts, the Book of the Scribe of Osiris focuses less on giving advice or blah blah blah. A recent study, Carnahan Hassan, suggests that the texts may have been intended as philosophical commentary of the world of the living through the allegory of the Duat. It remains unclear whether this was the intent of the original pre-Alexandrian author or a result of the later translation into Greek. The earlier manuscript, which is considered to be more authentic, is too fragmentary to provide answers, though perhaps further excavation may blah 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 blah. Alright, another one of these. There we go. That works. Anything else over here? Going down.
A new land stands before you, my child. And know that this is a land of death, but also great beauty. As you walk amongst these tombs, consider all those who came before you, and how they served the greater purpose of which you are also part.
Don't have enough for that. Definitely don't have enough for that. Alright, let's start from the beginning. Numero uno. I'm finally getting some sense out of the entity in the archive. Though, at some cost to my sanity, I'm beginning to think this Elohim wields no more control over the world than we do. Tell me something. Do you always do as you're told? Am I obliged to answer that question? I only ask because I couldn't help but notice the stash of brightly colored knickknacks you're collecting. Don't you think it a mite odd that a big voice in the sky keeps telling you to find those doodads, yet forbidding you to use them to climb the great big tower in the middle of it all? You're testing me. I must resist. Nah. I'll climb it when I'm good and ready. Okay, no need to get huffy. You'd be amazed how many just do as they're told without stopping to think for themselves. But maybe you're different. Then again, maybe you're the same. Maybe everyone climbs the tower, and the only way to win is to stay down here with the mortals. Are you trying to manipulate me? Nope. In fact, I'm all in favor of you poking about up there, if only to see what you find. Must be something juicy if it's forbidden by His Highness. Then again, maybe not. I'll be off then. Just wanted to drop in and run a little interference. Whatever you do take care. You have bigger problems than the voice in the clouds. I will. This computer is smarmy. I don't like it. Original translation, blah 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 blah. Annotations, blah 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 blah. The dying man went unto the scribe who resided in Primedjed and said, "Behold, I am weak of body. My days under the holy sun of Amun-Ra are coming to an end. Though I have spent my years in service of the two lands, I have not studied the something. Tell me, you who are wise in the writings of the dead, what lies ahead on my journey? What will I face in the land of the Westerners?" And the scribe spoke, saying, "At the appointed time, blah 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 blah. It is likely the location was changed according to the copy of the book was made for. According to who the copy of the book was made for, the dying man is an avatar of the owner." This is something that I'm not interested in. I want to find more about like the Ian people, the people who are working. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm afraid of dying. I don't see any reason to believe there's an afterlife. I'm an organism like any other. When my brain stops working, my consciousness will cease, and I will be gone. And you know what? I can't just embrace that. I can't say I'm okay with it, or I've accepted it, or some nonsense like that. I don't want to have an ending. It terrifies me. If I had a genie right now, I'd wish for immortality. Who wouldn't? Oh, but you wouldn't really want to be immortal, the pseudo-philosophers say. Pretentious drivel. Everyone wants to live forever. Maybe everyone deserves to live forever too. But we can't. So here we are. Live with it. Or rather, don't. Cannot live view file. 24 million views. My new song with lyrics. I'm not gonna sing this song. I'm not gonna sing that song. That song was awful, and even if it was a parody, they should be ashamed of writing it. Alright, let's solve some puzzles, yeah? Hello. Paint. Let's say this. I have traveled to the edge of the known world, though it seems to stretch on forever. Our domain is less than we imagined. I don't think that other people can see these messages. I think it's just to show that you're like one of these people who came before you. Or one of these robots, rather. Alright, window through a door. Let's see what we got. Still got connectors. We got buzzers. We need to get it over here. Alright, so window through a door. This is what we're going to have to do for this one. First thing, we're going to need to get our third connector. Take that, put it there. I'll take this. Ow! Get me out of here! There we go. So we have 3 connectors, and the place that we need to go is right over there. There are no windows over here, so we can't think about trying to get through here. The eventual place that this connector is going to have to go is right here. So we got to get the laser to go right here so it can bounce into there. What we need to do first, though, is obviously we have this buzzer problem. So in order to bypass that, we're going to have to get the laser to go through this window, past that force field, to hit a connector that banks it over to that side that puts it into the activator. So in order to do that, we need to find a way to get the laser through that window. And what we can do is reposition this so that I can see it through the window. Alright. Done. Alright, that will keep that open and allow us to take this one, which will allow us to go over here and complete the puzzle. Aha! Success! Extreme persistence detected. What does that mean? Try, fail, try again, fail again, eventually succeed? Come on. Alright, next puzzle. What's this say? There are hidden dangers in this new world. I have inexplicably escaped death any number of times. I suggest vigilance. Who knows what happens to those who step carelessly too often? Who really does know? Third wheel. Okay, so let's open this. We can grab this. Reposition just a little. Come on. Got it. Now comes the tricky part. How do we weigh down? Oh, well, never mind. It's not that tricky at all. The third wheel that doesn't need a laser. Next, over the fence. Are you trying to teach me something here? Oh yeah. Oh, I made a mistake. There we go. We gotta come on to the other side with this. Alright. Easy enough. I can get the fan. Road of Death. Ah! I'm sorry, didn't mean to. Epitaph. Child program. Blah blah blah. Codename Samsara. Terminate here. Logic. Program timed out. Final memory dump. But I was stuck. What was I supposed to? I see clouds. Alright, so Road of Death is another pretty easy one. Kind of deceptive. This makes you think that you're going to have to cross the Road of Death, but in actuality, all you really need to do is put the jammer on top of the box, climb up the ladder, take the jammer, come over here to this side. You don't even need that. We can just jam this. And that's all you gotta do. Jesus!
Cease!
That was weird.
In the time of your ancestors, there were those who did not choose the path of faith. You do not need to fear their ghosts. Fear only that you may become like them.
That was almost like a Serious Sam reference, kind of, wasn't it? The guys that run screaming towards you. Alright, we got one more puzzle. Or so it seems. And there's also a terminal over there. Something about a star. Oh, there's a star there! When you wish upon a star. Alright, so... yeah, that's obviously not going to work. I mean... is it this simple? No, it's not this simple. You need to find something else to block that. How can we do it, though? Let's take a look at this, see our options. Put it all the way over here. And still hit that. Oh, it's close, but no cigar. Oh, hey, it worked there. What changed? I just slightly moved the placement of it, I guess. Alright, we're gonna need a... in order to get the star, I don't actually know what we have to do. If we look around, maybe for a red origin point. Something star. I mean, could it possibly be this? No. I mean, like, use the sun as the red light. Wouldn't that be kind of amazing? No, it's not it though. Alright, well, ain't got time for that. Once again, eventually I'm gonna come back and try to get all these stars. But for now, let's head over to that terminal, and then we'll be able to end this video. Got it. Hello again. I've been checking your responses against the library archives, and in order to assist you further, I need some additional information. Can you tell me what is to you the important difference between being a pebble and a tree? The important difference? There's a lot of important differences, I feel. I guess the most important difference would be a tree is... I know where you're going with this. A tree is alive, though. Now, what is the relevant difference between a tree and a frog? Well, frog is delicious. I mean, again, I know where you're going with this, but I have to say a frog is conscious. Now we're getting somewhere. Now let's try something harder. What's the difference between a frog and you? What makes you a person? Nothing important. Frogs are people too. Shit. This is where you start asking me the heavy-hitting questions, huh? I'm self-aware, I guess. Exactly. Checking user.prof. And it seems you were on the right track, more or less, all along. Let us take stock. I think we can tentatively conclude two things. A person must be rational or self-aware. A person must be conscious. What I suggest we do Sorry about that. There was a noise suddenly. What I suggest we do to help resolve your problem is ask whether you are in fact those things. Are you aware of yourself? Can you rationalize your existence? Sure. I tend to agree with you. Though your responses so far have been a little eccentric, I am resigned to admit that you are right. The matter of whether or not you are conscious seems rather more elusive. What is consciousness, in your opinion? Consciousness is the feelings and senses. When you lose consciousness, you lose your feelings and senses, right? That hardly answers the question. What is it in ordinary terms? Can I touch it? What is it made of? I mean, that's a hard question to answer. Consciousness is a complex functional system. Interesting. Thinking. You know, I really feel like we're making progress. We'll have you through that certification program in no time. In the meantime, I will mull over your proposal and notify you if I come to any conclusions. The role of mutation in evolution is particularly fascinating. Mutation is essentially an error in an organism's central database. A variable gets changed. A piece of information is accidentally doubled or combined with another. Most of the time, the result is the equivalent of a bug, causing anything from minor problems to complete system shutdown, i.e. death. But sometimes the new information is functional, giving the organism an advantage against the challenges it faces, in which case it has a much higher chance of being passed to the next generation. If you consider how unlikely a beneficial mutation is, and how long it takes for such a mutation to propagate, this process can give you an amazing insight into just how vast the genetic history of each living organism, blah blah blah, override, blah blah blah. Simultaneously, it is intriguing to consider what a major role random errors have played in the evolution of life itself. The same process that has killed so many of us, often in horrific ways, is also responsible for our very existence. From Trevor Donovan to Alexandra Drennan, main character right there. L capacity. Yeah, no worries, L is not only ridiculously fast, it also has a bazillion tons of space. Even while hosting a full copy of the archive, it'll totally be able to handle all of your project's data needs, assuming its output is as you suggested. I mean, the worst case scenario would be like centuries. That should be enough, right? Right? Favorited by George Jameson. One of the common misunderstandings about evolution, sometimes accidentally promoted by people who should know better, is that it's an active process. Sometimes the term evolve is even applied to individual beings, as if some invisible force had driven them suddenly to change. But the truth is that individuals don't evolve. The term evolution describes a long-term process that can be observed in an entire population across time due to blah 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 blah. Example, in response to an external threat or challenge. If an individual coincidentally has a trait that allows it to deal with that challenge more effectively than others, it is more likely to pass on that information to its descendants. That information gives them an advantage, so over time, they become the dominant model of that species. The individuals experience no significant genetic change during their lifetimes, but each of them is part of the evolution of the species. Alright, guys, we are done with this chamber of this new second world, I believe we are. Anyway, we haven't found all the stars. That's okay. We're going the wrong way. How do I get out of this place? I want to leave. I want to go this way. Alright, and so we're going to end this video here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye-bye.